You guys, welcome back. Welcome to your week. We have a very exciting, we have somebody back from Mykonos. She is sun-kissed. You know her from the podcast So True with Sophie Ross, which you can catch on Tuesdays. And I just read her Substack, which really updated me on Ariel Sharnes, which I think you guys are getting into this week on your podcast on Tuesday. Sophie Ross, welcome back from Mykonos. Well, how you're dead?
It was Santorini, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Santorini.
I am so dead right now. I had like the longest freaking day of my life. It was, first of all,
Which day? Today or yesterday?
Today,
what day?
Because we left, we flew from Greece. No one cares, but I'm just gonna tell you anyway.
No, I think people care. I care.
We flew from Santorini to Helsinki and had an overnight layover in Helsinki, which I love. I'm like obsessed with Scandinavia all of a sudden, just from like this overnight layover. I'm like, I want to explore Scandinavia with someone. If you want to explore Scandinavia with me,
by the way,
know.
The new podcast, Exploring Scandinavia with Sophie Ross, premieres next year.
Parts unknown, Scandinavia with Sophie. But anyway, it was like an 8.5, 9-hour flight from Helsinki today to JFK. And by the way, all of you people that have global entry and you think you're like so cool and like such a jet setter, I got like conditionally approved for global entry, but I still have to do the interview thing. And I actually have the interview next week.
Oh, I did that one time when my ex was going to Japan all the time and I had to do global entry. The interview is like super easy. It's not.
Yeah. But so I was like, okay, I have an appointment next week, but you can also do it when you land at JFK. I waited. My boyfriend has global entry. So he was like done and through. I was like, go get my suitcase.
Wait, that reminds me of Katie and Tom Schwartz when she was like, switch me.
I was so bitter. I was so bitter, but they made me check my suitcase in Helsinki, which I was so annoyed about. So I was like, go get my suitcase at baggage claim. I'll just like wait. It was the longest line of my life because I'm never flying internationally to JFK ever again. And then there was a line to do like the global entry interview. And I was like, get me the fuck out of this airport. I never want to see this airport ever again. And my boyfriend was like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna do JFK anymore. Because then it's like an hour Uber home from JFK. Guys, I know I sound like I'm like really somebody who's a really nice vacation. I am very grateful for this amazing vacation, but fuck JFK. And fuck, I love how like when you're at the airport also. When you're at the airport and like they literally do not like the employees do not care. And I can see why. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, like most employees don't care anymore.
I know, but it's also like, oh, you're coming home from vacation and I'm like at work, like they like do not care. Yeah. Oh my God. It was just like,
wait, are you telling me though that now I'm scared though? I'm scared that there's going to be a TikTok video that pops up this week of Sophie yelling at somebody at JFK. Like no, you're going to be like,
I wasn't yelling at anyone except kind of my boyfriend because he was like, when I finally made it through customs and he was just like waiting for me, like all like gleeful. It took an hour. He was waiting for me for an hour. He was like, come here, give me a hug. And I was like, do not touch me. It was like just so.
And I love that that's how the vacation, that's how it always seems to go. Like that's how the vacation ends. And it looked like from your pictures, a beautiful romantic vacation.
It was so blissful and amazing. And then traveling, it was just like it's just the worst. And there was a woman behind me with like a Yorkie and this long, I'm not kidding when I say it took an hour to go through customs. And she had a Yorkie in a bag and she was like, can I please go? She was asking everyone. She was like, can I go? Like my Yorkie hasn't gone to the bathroom in 10 hours. And I was like, neither have I. Everyone was like, we haven't either. Like no one was letting her. I was like, you can take your Yorkie to the bathroom right there. And she was like, she won't go in there. And I'm like, okay.
New York is back, baby. All right.
Oh my God.
Okay. So
for that rant.
No, I love that actually. But the vacation itself was amazing. Do you decompress fully? I saw that you were working on your Substack, which is amazing. You still released an episode of your podcast. Do you like are you still the same Sophie in that, like, when you go on vacation, are you still flipping through like Daily Mail, Instagram, or were
Yeah,
you like, you know
definitely
what, it's
was
just me and
still
dude?
no, definitely was still like, okay, what's your Wi-Fi password? I still wanted like the internet. But for the most part, I was not, I have a full-time job and I was not logging on to like care about my responsibilities at all. I was off.
Well,
It's like
yeah, you took
I have
vacation.
PTO days for a reason. So I was like on vacation, but I recorded the podcast episode before I left
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then uploaded it while I was there. I did my Substack while I was there, but for the most part, I was pretty unplugged. I was like, this is the life I deserve. Just like sipping an Aperol spritz like in Greece. Like,
But you
please.
never, I mean, but by the way, that's the life you could potentially have. And especially if you stop yelling at that boyfriend of yours,
I
you
know.
together, you guys can get there. What
Seriously, and
entertainment
custom I
travels?
was like, just, like, let them if people wanna, like, do terrorist attacks, like, please just let them No, I'm kidding. That was a horrible joke. That was a
No, but
horrible joke.
there's sort of, wait, what entertainment travels overseas? Like, was there anything that like was buzzed about in Mykonos that was like American pop culture? Was like, "Don't worry, darling," like on fire over there?
And we were in, like, it was like a village, like, it was like there wasn't, like, tabloids everywhere and, like,
Oh, gross.
Daily Pop
Is
playing on
Demois
the
over there? Is Demois over in Mykonos?
No, it's like no one I don't think that anyone I wasn't paying attention to it just like wasn't on my radar. But when I was at the airport in Helsinki, I was looking at like the tabloids and it was all of these people that I had never seen before. One of them looked like she was like the Scandinavian Ina Garden. And then like a lot of them had like Putin on the cover. It was like it was like clearly talking shit about him, obviously. It wasn't like him on the cover
You
of
could
like
tell because there was like thumbs down. Yeah.
it wasn't like Finland Vogue on the cover.
I like that there's Bizarro Star, like like American Bizarro Star, like they have their version of over
Right.
there.
But
I
you know
love
what's
that.
funny? I've like talked to, international people from like Australia and from all over. And I've been like, why does it feel like the US? And I know that you have listeners that are outside of the US.
Yeah, weirdly, totally.
To
Yeah.
me, it always feels like the US is like the center of the universe. I'm like, do I like when it comes to pop culture and movies and like Rihanna, for instance, Beyonce, all American. And I was like, does it feel like that to you, or do I just feel like that because I'm in America? And they're like, yeah, I mean, Hollywood, it's the hub. Like, America is the hub of like celebrity pop culture. But I
I think
guess
it's our greatest export still. Like that's, I mean, like that's our, I no, honestly, I feel like sadly that is our greatest export. And even that I think is going to, and this isn't like anti-America, but it is like, sadly, as technology grows and stuff, you see some of the films that like China is doing, and it's like just technology wise, it's
yeah.
kind of insane, but that's our greatest export right now. It used to be like steel and, well, it's like, we've got Hollywood, baby.
Used to be steel.
Like, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's
No,
just true.
wait.
Like, like the it used to be the auto industry. It used to be, and I feel like this entertainment industry is what we have. Like, pop culture is what we will at the end be known for in some weird way. That and
That's
like
so like
Facebook
sad,
and
but also
Instagram.
true.
Well,
Yeah.
think about it. Like, do you think influencers were invented by us, or is that an overseas concept? I don't know enough, but I think you might, because I was reading that thing about Ariel Charnas, which you guys on her Substack is actually really fascinating. It always pulls me into something that I don't really know a lot about, and then I immediately get intrigued. And we've talked about Ariel Charnas on this show before, and I know Gabrielle Bluestone wrote about her in her book, and we've talked to her a couple times. But you had pointed out something really quickly, that her and her dude went private. She's been looking dour in pictures lately. And Social Blade said that she had deleted like 1,000 photos of her
Yeah,
kids.
I don't know what's going on. I think honestly, in my heart of hearts, I think that she's not splitting up from her husband. People were just speculating. I think that she's not. and she's just trying to rebrand right now. I don't know. It's like,
But maybe she
so
got rid of her kids. Maybe that's the rebrand. Like I
yeah,
got rid of my kids, you
the
know?
rebrand. She got rid of her kids.
Sophie is exhausted, so we're going to try to burn through some stories really quick. And I think the big one that just happened today that everybody's talking about is Rihanna is back, baby. She has signed to headline the Super Bowl.
I'm
I know
so
Sophie's a
excited.
huge football fan. This is her big day on Sunday for football. Did your team do good? Yes.
Yes, they actually
good.
won today, and it was, of course,
Scared to
the one
ask.
game that I wasn't watching because I convinced myself that I'm like a bad luck charm. I was on the plane.
Wait, are you saying they won because you didn't watch?
Yes, they
So will
definitely
you
did.
watch next week?
I feel like I just shouldn't watch from now on because every time I watch, they lose, and this has been happening for years. When I
But
go to the
isn't that the
bathroom,
joy for you is to watch?
no, yeah, but when I go to the bathroom, I'm watching the game. I go to the bathroom, and then it's like, "Wah!" I'm cheering. So I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom again.
So every time they're up for a big play, I gotta go take a deuce. I'll be right back. Yeah.
I know. I feel like I just like can't watch them anymore because they always lose.
What do you think about Rihanna? Is that I think that's an amazing
I'm
choice.
so excited. Oh my God. She's like making a comeback. I'm pumped.
Which means usually, you guys, it means that every Super Bowl performer has usually put like one new song out during their set. So are we on the eve of new Rihanna music? She has just had the baby. Of course, it's a long running joke now because Anti is what, like 7 or 8 years old.
Almost
it feels like
10. Almost 10.
Oh my
I think
God.
Anti was 2013.
So this is a perfect Apple Music took this halftime show over from Pepsi. It was a rumor that Taylor Swift was offered it and turned it down. But I think Rihanna fits this way more than Taylor Swift. And also somebody had mentioned to me that Rihanna has been very critical of the NFL in terms of social justice and like Colin Kaepernick and kneeling. So I know Rihanna, there must have been some deal in place where the NFL assured her they were doing like education, they were doing this, and maybe showed her that they've made potential positive changes. You think?
Yeah, no, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Because I don't think she would say
excited.
yes otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, I freaking love Rihanna. And I was shocked by it. I actually got off the plane and I saw
Headline?
the Instagram just the Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, this must mean Rihanna. I thought she was like teasing it. And my boyfriend was like, he doesn't care about pop culture. He was like, yeah, she is. It was like announced 3 hours ago.
This must
I
mean
like
she's
thought I was
teasing
like,
it.
I
No,
thought
it's
it
her
was
announcing it.
Greg, and it was like, no, it's like official.
Okay, so this happened while you were away, Sophie, and I needed you on home soil to really but Adam Levine, I don't know if you remember him from
Oh my
Maroon 5.
God.
He has a lot of weird tattoos. Speaking of Super Bowl performers, he was a Super Bowl performer, weirdly enough, and he made he was like, no, need to take my shirt off. Like it was in his contract that he was like, one song, got to take the shirt off.
I've never thought he was hot, by the way.
You've always been on the right side of history.
This love is taking its time. Like, shut the fuck up.
Well, I had to break it to my mom this week on the podcast because she's a huge Maroon 5 fan. She's 74 years old. And I had to call her at like 11:30 at night because she's had weird hours because she's recovering from surgery. I said, no, she goes, yeah, well, she is actually because she's recovering from surgery. But then she was like, let me go close the door because my mom and dad are like sleeping in separate bedrooms while she's healing. And I go, what? She goes, what? And I go, Mom, did you hear about Maroon 5 and Adam Levine? She's like, no, what's going on? And I go, he cheated with a bunch of women on Instagram and DMs and stuff. She goes, I thought I saw his picture today on Instagram. And I go, Mom, you liked my posts about it on Instagram. She goes, oh yeah, but that just showed like my mom like still supports me, but never reads anything I do. Like she just blindly supports. I could be posting about anything, but then I had to break it to her and she's like, that's not right. And then I had to ask my mom, did Adam Levine slip into your DMs? And so far she said no, but she said she would tell Adam Levine no. That's my question to you and other women. Wouldn't you say no, even if you like you don't like Maroon 5?
Okay, well, I know that there's been like a debate about like, should we be shaming the woman or just the man?
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I know that Emrata came out with a very it's like the Brad Pitt rumors, her and Brad Pitt. It's like, which side?
Well, also she was cheated on. Her relationship split because she was cheated on, you know?
Right. So I think I can see both sides of it, but I think at the end of the day, remember when Jimmy Fallon slid into my DMs?
Yeah, and then
Like,
he said, he goes, please be nice to me.
yeah, please be nice to me. It's like you will always kind of have as a regular person, and I know that she's like an Instagram model, but she's just like a regular ass, like everyday whatever.
Emrata. Yeah.
No, not Emrata.
Oh, the normal girl.
Sumner.
Sumner
Emrata,
Skies.
no,
Sky Sumner.
Emrata's Emrata. Sumner, the girl that Adam Levine cheated on Bahati Prinsloo, his wife, with, is just like a regular, she's not famous, she's like a nobody. And so I think that like when you're a nobody, like me or you or Sumner or whoever it is, not that, don't take it personally.
I've always been compared to Sumner so far.
So Sumner, whatever her name is. Like, if you are just an average person that's not going to like Vanity Fair, Oscar parties, and like the Met Gala, and Adam Levine or like Jimmy Fallon, I know it's like a stupid example because it's not like we were like flirting, but it's like,
can we make that rumor up though? That'd be great.
That would be great. I'm gonna make a TikTok about it and be like, Jimmy Fallon named his child after me.
But show the actual DMs from him, and you can clearly see he's not hitting on her. But like, how does this read? This reads like you're a married man, Jimmy.
Where I take a screen recording of the DM, so it's like, see, I didn't Photoshop it, but like, I feel like yes, there kind of is a power dynamic where it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited that this really, really, really famous person is talking to me. Like, of course there's a power dynamic. I think that that's like kind of like undeniable. And of course it's like absolutely wrong for, you know, women. We should have each other's backs. If you know that a man is married with children, he's like, but we're separated. Like, just stay away. By
the way, and if some guy in your DM says, hey, me and my wife are separated, automatically don't believe them. There should be some sort of service that we can get a third party involved where we can find out if they're separated or not, because it always seems celebrities like by happenstance are always separated from their wives, you know?
Yeah, no, it's always like the I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like one is called Something Was Wrong. And it's like about women that fall for these like dirty John type guys.
Yeah.
And they're always like, yeah, we're separated. And like the other women always fall for it. They always fall for it. And it's like, if someone is separated.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that's because women have big hearts? Do you think that's what, I mean, why do you think they fall for it? Because they want to believe I mean, why do you think it is?
I feel like it probably could go the other way around. I think that men would probably be just as inclined to believe a woman that he's super attracted to is separated. But it's like women are less likely to be psychopathic liars. And that actually is a statistic that most psychopaths and sociopaths, like 90% are men, something like that. No offense, right?
Oh, no. I mean, I completely.
We've definitely talked about this before. So it's like, it's just the fact that so many men are psychopaths and really good liars. It's like, yeah, and like you kind of want to believe if you're super into somebody and they seem into you, you're going to like eat up whatever they say.
Yeah. Well, and also it's just not Sumner too. It was proven that it was like a bunch of other girls as well. So, but at the same time, like it is weird that I feel like between this and the Kardashians and everything else in like pop culture this year, especially, we've normalized cheating. Like it's almost so much that we're so used to the idea that I feel like it's like, well, this guy cheated again. Like we're almost making it like, now it's like, oh, well, you know, he's a guy, he's trash. Like instead of actually, there's like, and then Adam like issues an apology of like, this won't happen again, even though I didn't cross the line, even though I have from multiple sources now that they actually did, like she was in his like place he had for other women, place in Los Angeles, a separate like condo or some shit, you know? But that, I mean, I just feel like cheating is so normalized because of celebrity culture. Like Tristan just walks around with his like head held up high, which by the way, you probably didn't get to watch Kardashians this week, but the season premiere happened.
Anything Southern
You're lucky.
Beverly Hills.
Oh, dude, 2 weeks ago. Well, by the way, how many years have you worked in food and bev?
My family actually owns several bars, so shut the fuck up, Craig.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, Craig on Southern Charms just got into a fight with Naomi, like wasted, shit can Craig wasted, which is always entertaining but scary. And then he's like, Naomi's like, be nice to the waitress, everybody. He's like, fuck you, Naomi. How many years have you worked in food and bev? Because me, I've worked 7. Like it was something insane. It was like an insane number.
All she was saying was like,
Be nice.
Hey, like, you guys are really drunk and rowdy right now. Let's like be polite to the waitress. Like, that was like the most innocuous statement.
And in Craig's head, Craig hears, fuck you, Craig, you piece of shit. Like, that's how like weird it is. And then in this episode, which you haven't seen yet, it goes even further, you guys, because Craig's like apologetic, you know, and then Naomi kind of pokes the bear and is like, why are you so nice tonight? But, you know, and then Craig gets so upset by anything Naomi does. It is bizarre. Like, it's like, it truly is. You can see how much he loved this girl, but I don't mean that in a complimentary way. I don't mean that in like, oh, he has a big heart.
He's suppressing like feelings that he still has, because otherwise it's like, why? I feel like I think about that saying that's like, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference, you know?
Yeah.
So
yes,
it's like
actually.
he has like this actual like,
Yes.
passionate dislike for her, where it's like, that's not the opposite of love. You clearly still love her.
Which by the way, if you were Paige and you watched your guy already on national TV, and I know it's reality shows, so you can say, oh, the producers made me, but wouldn't you be a little concerned that he was still this actively hating on this girl that he dated for so long? Like, he was like getting upset immediately, because that's not indifference, like you said.
Honestly, I'm having a spidey sense like I did for Kim and Pete. I think Paige and Craig, I think the clock is kind of ticking, and like, I will eat, what did they say? I'll eat crow pie. I'll eat crow pie if I'm wrong. I'll say. But
I'm Sunstruck.
No, but like, I actually have this like spidey sense. I think it's like an amalgamation of like Paige talking about how she's kind of like depressed and she's really snappy at Craig, and how she picks at everything he does. And I think Craig said on another podcast that he feels like she criticizes him a lot. And then this season
about Paige or about Naomi?
Yes, about Paige.
He hates being criticized.
Right. That's the exact problem that he had with his relationship with Naomi. So I'm like, this doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm not really like, and you know what? And me and Laura Parker, actually, on the latest episode of my podcast.
Oh yeah, Laura Parker's. I love her, actually. She's awesome.
She's awesome. Buy her book, Vagina Problems. But she was talking about how, you know, she actually thinks they might get engaged. And I was like, I wouldn't be surprised either way, but I think I would be more surprised if they got engaged and less surprised if they just like broke up tomorrow.
Well, but we've got BravoCon coming up in a couple weeks. So true. Know they'll stay together for BravoCon unless they make it. That would be kind of a fun panel of like, watch Craig and Paige break up. You know, Hannah could host it. It would be like a whole googly squad.
Is Hannah like invited to BravoCon?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I don't know. Like is Freddie Mellencamp going to come?
Blacklist.
Is Freddie Mellencamp, do you think?
Did you see what Freddie tweeted earlier tonight?
Yeah, wait, can you read that to people? Yeah, Freddie Mellencamp has this pod called Twats with her and Tamra Judge, 2 TTs in a pod. And it's like, it does really well, you guys. This podcast does insanely well. But Freddie, it's almost, I was trying to accept this, that certain people hate listen to me. And that's a hard thought to like hold on to, but I have a feeling there a lot of people hate listen to 2 T's in a pod, even though people say they love Tamra. What did she say?
Well, I think I would say that Tamra carries, but Teddy tweeted this 2 hours ago. For everybody tweeting me that I wasn't an Aspen, thank you. I'm aware. My job is to talk about the show. Also, neither were any of you, and yet you seem very sure about what happened. And then like shrug emoji, like shut up. Your job, your podcast, your hobby,
her job is making people starve themselves. I thought that was her real job.
Exactly. Wait. She just does not help herself.
Well, she's also one of those people that like, I think there's a quote from her somewhere where she said one time, she's like, you know, after this is over, you're not going to find me trying to make money off being a housewife. And that's all she does. Like, that's the sad part of the Housewives thing is like, you see the aftermath, and she's found this good thing with Tamra, but at the same time, it's like this thing where you're like, oh, you kind of hope that they have something going on enough where they don't have to rely on like fandom and things like that. Like they have an actual business.
She's like the Nick Viall of Bravo.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Do you know how disappointed I am and sickening to my stomach? I brought this up last week on the pod on Monday, is that I had to see a picture of Sophie and Nick Viall, and Sophie proudly posted this herself. I was like, oh my God, somebody's kidnapped Sophie. This is like a ransom thing. And and you were all smiley. Did you date Nick Viall? Is this why you don't like Nick Viall?
Yeah, we fuck. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, this was actually back in 2015. So in my defense, it was 7 years ago.
You were
It
young.
literally came up on my like Instagram, like this day 7 years ago. So like it was exactly 7 years ago. And I went to some random party, and this was like after Nick had just had his stint, I think, on Caitlin Bristow's season of The Bachelorette.
Okay.
Like he was like very likable at the time, or maybe it was like, I don't know. He was like, it was when he was like pretty likable. I thought he was like a cute guy. He was like likable at one point.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
So,
I don't
like,
remember that, but okay, yeah.
That's my official defense, Your Honor.
He was like, it was during the time he was likable. But my thing is, maybe, you'll like him again at some point, and this is just, you're on the off season of not liking Nick Viall.
Never,
by the way,
because you know
Bachelor in Paradise premieres this week, you guys.
Oh, I'm
Isn't that
actually
exciting?
excited for that because I
Yeah.
did not care about The Bachelorette this season.
Which, by the way, there's an article on her Substack about The Bachelorette this week, even though she admits she doesn't watch it, but she is a proud follower of the discourse around it.
Keep up with the discourse, of course.
No, and that's actually super important. I'm not joking. This is also a story that I wanted to bring up that just happened this weekend, because it is one of the first times I actually talked to you is because of this story. Is that, did you know this Alec Baldwin is married to this lady, Ilaria Baldwin from Lisbon, Spain, or Portugal.
Oh,
she's from Spain. Mallorca. Yes, she's from Mallorca. And she, Mallorca is the town next to Boston, I think. And she had another baby this weekend from Alec. And guess what she named this baby?
Ilaria without the H.
She named it Ilaria without the H. Like, I feel like she's trolling us with the baby name.
I honestly feel like at this point she's trolling. And I think that
this whole baby's a troll baby.
That's so sad. That's so sad. Actually, my aunt was visiting in New York, and I was like, oh, I'm in Greece this week. I didn't get to see her. Anyway, she had a close-up encounter with Alec, and he apparently was looking miserable.
How could you not? Was it like the seventh baby with them or something? Like seventh baby. They said they were done the last time.
He is living in just like probably his own personal hell at this point.
I mean, if you look at Alec without makeup, though, you could live. I'm looking currently for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom by November, if anybody knows of anything. But if not, I'm going to offer Alec a couple grand a month to live in one of those bags underneath his eyes, because they're huge. Like so I've never seen such big bags. And I know he's an older gentleman, but really, like, keeping up with that many kids is just so hard, I imagine.
No, he looks miserable. And there was some video that was like resurfacing on Twitter. And it was like after they had, I think, their like second kid, and maybe Hilaria was like pregnant with a third. And Alec was like, yep, and then we're done after this one. Like, I swear to God, he was like ready to be done after like 2-3 kids. And
do you think the rush shooting happened and then do you think he was like, maybe we do have another kid then to bring joy back? I mean,
because this was their 7th. They were having babies way before the Rush shooting.
No, what I'm saying, I thought they were stopping after the 6th, so I thought maybe they decided to do this after the shooting to kind of like, and I know this is a horrible idea, but to garner good press in a sense.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people try to do that with babies. Like a lot of celebrities, they're like, no one can criticize me because like now I'm just like, I'm bringing a child into the world.
So
like, I will criticize the fuck out of you either way.
As we start winding down, we're gonna just keep Sophie for like 10 more minutes because we wanted her to get sleep and a good night's rest for the week. And she's doing that because we didn't think we'd do this. So a couple of things. I know you didn't watch Beverly Hills, but of course you followed the discourse as well. Yes. Can you fucking believe that after 7 months of hearing Lisa Rinna bitch about this, we finally get to see some of this shit? None of it's recorded. I don't know if Kathy's threatened to sue and we're not seeing shit, but this all started like there's a conga line involved. Like nobody wanted to do a conga with Kathy at this underground club. And then Rinna goes home with Kathy, you guys. And Rinna says she has PTSD from Kathy Hilton screaming in the Sprinter van and back at the condo, but nobody else has seen it except for Lisa Rinna. I know you haven't watched the show, but you know the situation. I mean, Lisa's not a reliable narrator. What do you think?
Exactly. If Lisa Rinna is the only eyewitness, then you know what? I want to believe that actually the opposite happened, you know?
Well, but the thing, I believe this probably happened 50 to 60% of what Lisa Rinna said, I bet happened. Like I bet Kathy was livid. We saw her earlier in that day with the tequila. Kathy was in her jammies. Like Kathy reminds me a lot of my mom in certain ways. And sometimes they'll just explode, you know, like I don't doubt that. But fortunately, Kathy picked the right person to go home with because nobody fucking believes Lisa Rinna anymore. Like, so even if this was true, it's the boy who cried wolf. Lisa has done this so many years in a row. Right. And also, why didn't Lisa... She has her phone with her. She knows how to like tweet. She knows how to Instagram back to every Bravo Instagrammer. Why doesn't she hit record on her own phone if nobody's taping it?
Right, exactly. I saw someone tweet that they wish that whenever the Bravo cameras like pack it up for the night, I get that they can't pay cameramen to like stay up all night. Like, why aren't they wearing GoPros or like
dude? That's what I said.
Body cam.
That's what I said. Attach GoPros to each of these ladies. We're past the point of this. Like, they should also be separated, like they do on Love Island. Of like, if there's not a camera there, these ladies can't hang out. You go to separate rooms. We watch. You know, you have to log out. You have to sign out like you do a regular job. But if they're gonna go party, you damn well better hire other people to tape that party, or you're not partying. Like, why would we have all this stuff off camera? Show us, don't tell us. And then Lisa saying she has PTSD. Like, how offensive is that?
Oh, please.
It's like, I said the most disgusting thing, but it's like, really, honestly, I was like hoping like she needed to go home to take a shit. That is like literally it, because she is ridiculous, this lady, and she needs to be taken down a notch. Also, she fed a story to Radar Online, I believe, saying that she was asking for $2 million and that, you know, she's definitely been offered a place back, but it's Radar Online. And we've already had many storylines where they just get bullshit stories fed to them. So I don't believe it at all.
Exactly. And now we know who their number one source is. It's Rinna. It was
I think it was Rinna a long time ago with the Lucy Apple Juice dog,
exactly,
you know?
Exactly. That's what I mean. But like the one quote in that article was like, Bravo needs Rinna more than Rinna needs Bravo. I was like,
dude, oh my God. This is so exciting too, because then I had made some post about the situation and somebody wrote underneath it like a comment of like, why don't we just, you know, like if Bravo's trying to save money, why don't we just try it for a season without Lisa? And I wrote, I'm willing to give it the old college try. Guess who fucking like Kathy Hilton went through all the comments and liked my give it the old college try comment. Like Kathy doesn't follow me. Kathy goes deep as well as Rinna does. So like, listen, Rinna has taken down so many housewives in her day. I'm fine with Kathy trying to take Rinna down if that's what she's doing, you know?
I love that about her.
Also this week is the return of Salt Lake City. I have seen the premiere episode and I thought it was really good. It doesn't hit you over the head with the Jen Shah stuff too much, but I'll be interested to hear everybody's thoughts on it, including yours, Sophie. Don't worry, darling. Number one at the box office. So all of this, I mean, it was only made $18.9 million, which I know you're saying that's a lot, but it's actually not in terms of first week sales, but it did do better than it was projected to do by like $1 million. But for that, I mean, they've had to go hard. Like this film has had rumors so bad about it for so long. I mean, we've had like more
this week. Have you seen it yet?
No, you saw it?
No, I'm going to see it.
Oh, no, I am too. Yeah, I do want to see it. By the way, horrible reviews, but I still want to see it and I'll probably dig it.
I heard it really like feels like a movie. A really good to the state of film.
Wait, by the way, Harry Styles beat Fish's record at Madison Square Garden by doing 15 nights at the Garden. So congratulations to Harry Styles.
Consecutively, right?
I think there was a break in there because he had to go to
say that sounds so exhausting.
Could you imagine at a certain point? Just imagine hearing that many people scream for you. At a certain point, that's got to desensitize you entirely. Yeah. Also, he's really private with Olivia Wilde, but on Friday or Thursday, they finally got some paparazzi photos of them kissing outside, which have to be set up because at this point, if they don't want people to see, you don't kiss outside because somebody always has a camera.
Yeah,
so I was
true.
like, is this promo for the movie? Because Florence Pugh wouldn't promote it. They're like, Carrie's like, fine, I'll give you a little kiss for the press,
A little kiss.
Give me little PK kiss. I'll give you a little snog.
A snog.
Yeah, dude. I'll snog with you. Yeah. Okay, Southern Charm season finale next week. Beverly Hills should be winding down in the next couple of episodes as well. And then finally, and don't worry, you guys, I'll do some pop culture stories after this as well. But I wanted to mention Elizabeth Chambers, Armie Hammer's ex, has actually found a new boyfriend, which is positive news.
Oh, I saw that she like posted him. I was like,
she posted him.
Great. That's really great because the story had recently come out that she was like standing by Armie, and I was like, what is going on?
Well, and here's the deal though, kind of standing by him in the sense that like her and Effie, House of Effie, which a lot of this stuff was started by, House of Effie posted a lot of her DMs with Elizabeth Chambers from the past 2 years. And Elizabeth Chambers was very pro filing charges against Armie, said he was a deadbeat dad, all of this stuff. And then Elizabeth Chambers deleted all of those DMs. And then Effie posted that as well. And it just seems like a mess. So Elizabeth Chambers did an interview with E, I believe, and said that they are happily, I think, like co-parenting. And she's, like, oh, it's been a lot of surprises, but didn't answer anything too deep or too intense.
Right.
But they are definitely split up. So, I mean, who knows what the real story of all of this is,
Good for her for having a new beau.
No, I'm happy about that. This week, besides Don't Worry, Darling, what else? You've got tons of TV to catch up on. Is there anything? Wait, do you watch that Tell Me Lies? All these girls keep talking about
Everyone keeps talking. I need to watch that. I need to catch up on so many shows.
Dude, watch the Lori Vallow documentary too, Sins of Our Mother.
I know I need to. I downloaded that and then I just like wasn't in the mood to watch it on the plane. But I watched that. Okay, it's called The Unbearable Burden of Massive Talent.
I watched it, Nicolas Cage.
I freaking loved it.
So
I thought
good.
It was so funny. It was so creative. It was just like this fun, like action movie.
Where Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage was so good.
It was so
funny.
good. He plays like a fictionalized version of himself. So like, go check that out if you're caught up on your shows and you need something to watch. Watch that. And then I also watched Deepwater Horizon because you know how I feel about oil rigs.
Dude, I mean, like every time there's a movie that I'm like, because you admitted to watching Morbius on Netflix and digging Morbius. Yeah. You are a part of the Morbius cinematic universe now.
Yes.
And they do need your voice, but I love it. Like you do truly watch all of those films and you really enjoy them. Like,
wait,
no
what do
joke.
You mean those films?
Well, like the Liam Neeson ones, the ones that are like you like to be swept away by a completely fantastical story. I mean, the oil one is actually real, but like you like, cause I just can't get a beat sometimes on you. You talked about that whole like awesome thing about not awesome, but the miners trapped in the well a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I've been by that and I never even thought to watch it, but Sophie sees it and goes, I got to watch it. And then you made me, and I was like, well, maybe I got to watch it then. And that's why these shows kind of work. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good. It's called 13 Lives.
Yeah. No, I totally dug it.
Yeah, no, I mean, any sort of like true story. Oh, I actually also watched 3 movies today on the plane because that's how freaking long this flight was. The documentary 3 Identical Strangers about these 3 identical twins that were separated at birth. Not gonna spoil it, but
this came out like 5 years ago, you guys. It was a CNN documentary. 3 Identical Strangers, like you said, it will blow you away. Like it will. I saw mine on a plane 4 years ago too. Like I watched that on a plane 4 years ago. Like it blew me away.
These random movies just like sell the rights to like Finnair Airlines. Like, dude, where else is this like movie showing? Like,
did you cry on the plane at all? Because I read an article that you are more apt to cry on a plane. Like when you're watching film,
I cried watching Deepwater Horizon.
I'm not. There's something about altitude, and I thought it was just something about being relaxed. Like I remember going to Japan, and I like started crying watching this movie about bullies, but I was like, at the same time, I was just really happy to be watching a movie in the air. Like, to me, that technology is so, I'm like, whoa, I don't even care about the in the air part. I'm like, that we can watch movies in the air. That's the part that gets me. But supposedly the altitude makes you more apt to cry.
That makes sense. And also, have you noticed that like everyone is just like gassy and disgusting around you on airplanes? It's because the air in your stomach like actually expands.
Well, I don't notice it, but I do notice that you can't hear toots on a plane.
Yeah, you can't. So like you can just like, let them rip and no one will know. But there's like a reason that like that happens also.
I kind of think Sophie just busted herself out right now. I think she was the tutor because because you can't hear. So
No,
you're like, there's a reason why people are gassy. That means you are gassy on that plane.
Okay, well, yes, my stomach was hurting on every single flight that I was on, but also it just like smelled like shit. And I was like, everyone else is farting too. It's not just me.
This podcast is sponsored by Delta. Come fly our friendly skies. Sophie Ross, the podcast is called So True with Sophie Ross. Go subscribe. It comes out on Tuesday. This week, we got Samantha Bush, Bravo historian. You know her, you love her. It's going to be a fascinating conversations, I believe, about influencers. And we had Laura on the first
Laura Parker,
who actually I follow on Twitter. I really like, and I kept meaning to have her on about 90 Day Fiance, and I forgot. And it's been years now, but she's awesome. So go listen to that. You can pick those up and download them to your phone. Remember to go subscribe to the Substack or super follow on the Twitter. But Sophie is back, and we'll do a big old episode next week for you. And there was one other thing I said I was going to tell you guys to watch, but I'll try to remember it and let you know. The Bling Ring documentary. The Bling Ring documentary on Netflix.
I downloaded that also. I need to watch that too.
I'm curious your opinion because certain aspects of that documentary were very weird to me, and just how they presented itself with like Nick Prugo kind of joyriding off his crimes still.
Also, Shana Tova to all of the
Happy New Year, Sophie. Happy New Year.
Thank you to all of the fellow Jews. Happy New Year.
Wait, Sophie, what does this mean in terms of like being Jewish and the new year? Like, do you do like you supposedly there's services, not supposedly, there is services that I know you weren't able to go to. Do you have to like set aside like New Year's like wishes like I do on New Year's, like put us like what we're trying to leave behind and go towards?
I mean, it's kind of just like the Hebrew calendar is just different. It's not, the calendar that, we use.
Yeah.
It's not year 2020. I couldn't even tell you what year it is on the Hebrew calendar. So sorry for being a bad Jew. It's like 5-7. Let me see actually. But anyway, it's just like, a different new year, and we say have a sweet new year, like apples and honey are sweet, sweet apples and honey, and go to services. I can't go to, synagogue or anything tomorrow because I already just took off a week of work going to Greece.
So it's 2 days. So is this the eve of the new year, and tomorrow Monday's the new year?
Eve tomorrow, aka Monday. We're recording on Sunday.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. So what year on the Jewish calendar is it? 5,783.
Happy 5,783, everybody. Have a great week from Sophie and myself. We're glad to have you back on soil, and we look forward to hearing your hot takes, not only on your podcast, but your Twitter and everywhere else. And you guys, I will talk to you once again on Tuesday. That's it. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.